the content creator. The night Abuja held its breath was the night Evans posted a smiling video while handcuffs waited silently for him. The city was glowing, street lights stretching like watchful eyes along the expressway, generators humming in distant compounds, phones lighting up dark rooms with promises of wealth and beauty. In a quiet apartment in Gwarimpa, Evans adjusted his camera, flashed his perfect smile, and spoke to thousands who believed him. Consistency is the key, he said smoothly. Create value and money will follow. But the elders say the drumbeat you hide in your chest will one day sound in the marketplace. Evans did not hear that drum yet. Abuja did. Evans had come to the city, like many others, from a small town where dreams were bigger than opportunities. Abuja welcomed him with wide roads, tall buildings, and a silent understanding that survival belonged to the clever. At first, he tried honest work, small gigs, editing videos, chasing contracts, but the city was impatient, and hunger has a way of whispering dangerous advice. Soon, Evans learned that lies traveled faster than truth on the internet. He became a content creator. Online, his life sparkled. Luxury apartments that were rented by the hour, cars borrowed for shoots, motivational captions copied from foreign pages. Young women watched his videos, saw his confidence, his light skin glowing unnaturally, and believed success had kissed him early. What they didn't see were the locked WhatsApp groups, the late-night crypto scams, the illegal creams hidden in boxes marked electronics. What they didn't know was that Evans sold insecurity as profit, convincing girls that their natural skin was a problem only his products could solve. Everybody wants to shine, he once told his friend Musa, laughing as money alerts chimed on his phone. I just show them the mirror they want to see. Musa shook his head. My brother, when the masquerade dances too long, the rope tying the mask will loosen. Evans laughed louder. Susan Ibrahim had grown up listening to such sayings. She was raised in a modest home in Kubwa, where her grandmother believed stories were not just entertainment but warnings. Susan had learnt early that truth had patience and justice often arrived wearing ordinary clothes. As a detective with the Economic and Cybercrimes Unit, Susan noticed a pattern. Young women reporting emotional manipulation, money stolen through investments, strange skin reactions from unregistered creams. Different stories, one digital shadow. Evans. He is careful, her superior warned. No direct trail. Susan studied his videos late into the night, listening not just to his words, but to what he avoided. Confidence without depth, wisdom without roots. She remembered her grandmother's voice. When a man praises himself too loudly, listen for the cracks in his voice. I'll go in, Susan said finally. Undercover? Yes. He trusts admiration. Let me be the mirror. Susan became Sadia online, a young professional, curious, impressed, and lonely enough to be believable. She commented on Evans' videos, sent thoughtful messages, laughed at his jokes. Evans noticed her quickly. He always did. She was different, he thought, not desperate, not loud, calm like Abuja at dawn before traffic wakes. They met at a cafe in Wuse 2, where the smell of coffee mixed with car fumes and ambition. Evans talked. Susan listened. He spoke of growth, mindset, and destiny. She watched how his eyes checked reflections more than faces. You inspire people, she said softly. Evans felt taller. As weeks turned to months, Susan entered his world. She saw the late-night calls, the coded messages, the boxes delivered after midnight. She learned how lies were layered carefully, like makeup hiding scars. And slowly, against her will, she saw the boy beneath the mask. Sometimes Evans spoke of fear, of going back to nothing, of being forgotten. Susan felt the weight of her mission then. Justice was necessary, but it was never painless. Still, she remembered another proverb: pity for the snake must not blind you to its venom. The closer Evans grew, the sloppier he became. One night, during a power outage, he boasted too much. "I control everything," he said, phone glowing in the dark. "Girls, money, the game." Susan smiled. The recorder in her bag blinked quietly. The evidence piled up: bank transfers, audio confessions, product suppliers, cyber trails. Abuja moved around them, unaware, traffic roaring, prayers rising from mosques and churches alike. The night of his arrest, Evans was live again. That was when the knock came. Not loud, not angry, just firm. Susan stood behind the officers as Evans' phone slipped from his hand, still streaming. The filters vanished. The truth stood bare. In court, Evans avoided Susan's eyes. When their gaze met briefly, she saw not hatred, but disbelief. The city he thought he had conquered had swallowed him whole. Months later, Abuja moved on, as cities always do. New influencers rose, new lies tried to bloom, but some girls healed, some listened more carefully, and Susan returned to her grandmother's house one evening, sitting under the stars. "You did well," the old woman said, stirring soup. "Remember, child, the moon does not need to shout to be seen." Susan smiled. In prison, Evans finally heard the drum he had ignored, and Abuja learned again what Africa has always known. No matter how modern the mask, truth waits patiently for daylight.